Chaitanya Leela Vistar Karino Jo Nityananda Parabja Karunarena Bhushito Vyaktachano Burachincho Vavande Vyasarupino Shri Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindascha Ganaisaha Jayanti Patakascha Sarvesham Gurunartino. So yesterday was Rath Yatra Day. We were hearing about Mahaprabhu's expressions before Lord Jagannath. And now we can continue, we can pick up from where we left off. We were in the Anjali chapter 3, and we were just about to hear the glories of Srila Haridas Thakur. Ekadin Prabhu Hari Dasare Milila Tahaloya Goshti Kori Tahade Puchila. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Haridas Thakur as usual, and in the course of discussion, he inquired as follows: Haridas Kali Kale Javana Par Go Brahmane Himsa Kore Mahadurachar. My dear Thakur Haridas, in this age of Kali, most people are bereft of Vedic culture. And they are called Javanas. They are concerned only with killing cows and Brahminical culture. In this way, they all engage in sinful acts. Okay, the English is not so clear here. It's, but according to the Bengali, Go Brahmana Himsa, so they want to do violence, they want to destroy both cows and Brahmin culture. Iha sabar kon mate hoibe nishtar tahar hetu nade kiye eduka par. How will these Javanas be delivered? To my great unhappiness, I do not see any way. And, we can think this conversation is like, what's the word? Like Mahaprabhu is setting this up, we can say, because he's asking Haridas Thakur, and who is Haridas Thakur? Haridas Thakur is the Namacharya, right? So it's like, Mahaprabhu is posing a question with an obvious answer, and he's asking the person who he knows will give that answer. So he's making a point. So Haridas is going to reply. Haridas kohe Prabhu chintana kari ho Javaner samsar. And of course, Mahaprabhu is the Yuga avatar who came to spread the Yuga Dharma of Harinam Sankirtan. Do not be unhappy to see the condition of the Javanas in material existence. Don't worry, my Lord, don't worry. There is a solution. Javan sakaler mukti hobe anayase haram haram boli kohe nama base. Because the Javanas are accustomed to saying haram, haram, O Lord Ramachandra, they will very easily be delivered by this namabas. And this haram, as I recall, it's a Muslim expression which means like it is abominable, it is terrible. So he's saying, they will, by the grace of the Lord, they, namabas may be affected. So even though they don't intend it, they're actually saying the name of Lord Ramachandra. So they will be benefited by that. Mahapreme Bhakta kohe haram haram javaner bhagya deka loy senam. A devotee in advanced ecstatic love exclaims, O my Lord Ramachandra, O my Lord Ramachandra. But the Javanas also chant, haram, haram. Just see their good fortune. Yajyapi anya sankete anya hoy namabas tatapi namer teja na hoy vinash. Namacharya Haridas Thakur, the authority on the chanting of the holy name, said, The chanting of the Lord's holy name to indicate something other than the Lord is an instance of namabhas. Even when the holy name is chanted in this way, its transcendental power is not destroyed. So, do you know what namabhas means? Well, generally we'll say there's three types of chanting. There's Shuddha Nam, means the pure name. There's Namaparad, means offensive chanting. And then there's Namabhas, which means like a shadow of the name. And it means when, like, you know the story of Ajamil, when he's dying. And you probably did that as a play when you were a kid. Every Hare Krishna kid did the Ajamil play. I'm sure you did it. But it's a story in Bhagavatam of a Brahmin who he started out his life, in a very pure way, and then he became degraded. He ended up marrying a prostitute or something, and completely left his spiritual practice and Brahminical culture. And then when he was on his deathbed, then some Yamadutas, they came to take him away, to the nether regions. And then he called out to his son, who was called Narayan, and he was just thinking of his son, But it became namabhas, which means you're actually indicating something else, but it is still the Lord's name. So there's some type of potency there. And so then some Vishnu Dutas came, and they protected him they asserted their, authority over him. He chanted the name of Lord Narayan. They told the Yamadutas, you cannot take him. And anyhow, he was given an extension of life, and then he reformed his ways. But that's like the most famous example of namabhas. Means like you're saying the Lord's holy name, meaning something else. But if the Lord's will is there, then it can become namabhas. And it's so powerful, you can actually get liberation from it. You can get positive liberation in the world of, Goloka, in the world of dedication. But you can become, we're told, you can become free from your entanglement in the material energy through namabhas. It is possible. So it is so that is how powerful. It's like we can see it as demonstrating how powerful the name is, that just by like a shadow of the name, you can become fully liberated from the material world. So what to speak of if you're chanting consciously with devotion. So here, Haridas Thakur is saying that I think it's some Muslim expression. Haram means something is terrible. This is abominable. This is impure. So Haridas is saying these persons, they're saying Haram meaning something else, but Ram is also the name of Ramachandra. So they'll get some upliftment because of that. And sometimes this nama, it's kind of a funny thing because the namabhas, sometimes we see it like in a positive light, and sometimes it's portrayed in a negative light. Like Srila Sridhar Maharaj, his standard is so high, he would just reject namabhas out of hand, and even often we've heard when he was giving initiation to people, he would tell them, avoid namaparad and namabhas, both. Avoid both of them. Because okay, namabhas, it's not a bad thing, but it's like there's an indifference there. There's no, devotion. So it's not something desirable. But at the same time, like from where we are in our relative position, that would be like a bonus, And Gurudev, he's mentioned it in that way, that would help us, if we had namabhas. So, yeah. Okay, we can continue. So Haridas Thakur said the chant, and sometimes, also as another example of it being used as an advantage, I think it's Jiva Goswami, but some of our acharyas, they've used it in Mridanga beats. They use some names of the Lord. You're using the names for learning beats of the Mridanga. So you're not directly calling the Lord, but it's reminding you, like that. Or I think the example I'm thinking of with Jiva Goswami is in his Harinamamrita Vyakaran. It's a grammar book. And Gurudev, he liked it so much because he uses the names of Krishna to demonstrate different grammatical principles. And Gurudev said, normally when you go to study Sanskrit grammar, you're in the desert. It's so dry, But Jiva Goswami, he's given us some nectar, in the desert there. Okay. And now we have a quotation from the Nrsimha Purana. Damstri damstra hatom lecho harameti puna puna utwapi muktamapnoti. But in, I think it's Search for Shri Krishna, Srila Sridhar Maharshi discusses. There's in particular 4 types of namabhas. And then the 10 types of aparad. And one of them is called parihasya, namabhas. It means to jokingly take the name. So if people are making, Srila Sridhar Maharshi is the example, if some people are making fun of the devotees, they could get namabhas, They're not, it's not they have a bad intent, It's not offensive. In some cases it could be, but generally, people, they have that, when people are making fun, it's it's just kind of silly, So that could be namabhas. We heard Srila Sridhar Maharshi, he used to listen to the BBC News on the radio, and there was one, what was his name? I think it begins with a B. He was a Russian president, and I think this was under the Soviet rule, during the Soviet rule. Not that it's really ended, because things are kind of crazy right now again. Baryshnikov, I can't remember. But he said in one public announcement, he said, there are 2 main threats to our Russian way of life. He said, American pop music and Hare Krishna. And when Srila Sridhar heard that, he was delighted. And he said, but he's already ruined because he said Krishna. He said Krishna's name. Okay. So, there's this quotation. Even a mlecha who is killed by the tusk of a boar and who cries in distress again and again, Haram, Haram, attains liberation. What then to speak of those who chant the holy name with veneration and faith? Ajamil putre bolai boli narayan, Vishnu duta asi charai tahar bandhan. Oh, Ajamil. Ajamil was a great sinner during his life, but at the time of death he accidentally called for his youngest son, whose name was Narayan. And the attendants of Lord Vishnu came to relieve him from the bonds of Yamaraj, the superintendent of death. Ramduyakariha nahe vyavahita, premavachiha shabda tahate bhushita. The word Ram consists of the 2 syllables Ra and Ma. These are unseparated and are decorated with the loving word Ha, meaning oh. It's like you're calling out to someone, like oh. Namerakar sabereto swabhav, yavahita hoilena chadeapan prabhav. The letters of the holy name have so much spiritual potency that they act even when uttered improperly. And now we have a quotation from Bhagavatam. No, it's from the Padma Purana. Namaikam yasya vachi smaranapata gatam shotamulam gatam va shudam vashudavarnam vyavahita rahitam tarat tarayatyeva satyam tadchideha dravina janata loba pashanda madhye nikshiptam syannafala janakam shigram evacha vikra. If a devotee once utters the holy name of the Lord, or if it penetrates his mind or enters his ear, which is the channel of oral reception, that holy name will certainly deliver him from material bondage, whether vibrated properly or improperly, with correct or incorrect grammar, or properly joined or vibrated in separate parts. O Brahman, the potency of the holy name is therefore very great. However, if one uses the vibration of the holy name for the benefit of the material body, for material wealth and followers, or under the influence of greed or atheism, in other words, if one utters the name with offenses, such chanting will not produce the desired result very soon. Therefore, one should diligently avoid offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So, the idea here is that doesn't matter, what our condition of life is, or whether we're even able to properly pronounce the name. But if we're chanting with sincerity, with some simplicity of heart, without any material motives, then the effects will bear fruit. However, if we're chanting offensively, means, with some, material purpose in mind, then it says this in a very curious way: the chanting will not produce the desired result very soon. So it means, and Gurudev discusses this in Revealed Truth, means that even in that state, eventually, you will become purified by that chanting. So this is the answer to, what's the point of chanting if we can't chant? There's a nice recording of Janardhan Marsh, it's like 1989 or something, asking Gurudev about this point. Because it's kind of a, like a conundrum, like we're told the only way to become purified is by chanting the holy name, but we're also told that we're not able to chant the holy name. Because the name is, spiritual, we are material, so we can't really chant. But the idea is that, by our endeavor, our sincere endeavor to continue chanting, the name will be pleased with us, and he will mercifully descend and reveal himself. So, therefore, we must continue with our Namaparad. And there's also a quote of Jiva Goswami that Gurudev would often cite: Nama Parada Yuktanam Namanya Eva Harantyagam. Just saying that one must continue with our Nama Parad. And eventually that name will descend, will purify, remove the sin of that practitioner. Namabas hoite hoy sarva papa koi. This I've heard Gurudev quote as well. So Haridas Thakur says, if one offenselessly chants the holy name, even imperfectly, one can become freed from all the results of sinful life. So simply through Namabas, all sin can be removed. And now we have another verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Tam nirvyajam bhajagunani de pavanam pavananam shraddha rajjanmatir atitaram Uttama shloka molam prodyan anta karana kuhare hanta yannama banor abaso pi kshapayati mahapataka dvantarashim. O reservoir of all good qualities, just worship Sri Krishna, the purifier of all purifiers, the most exalted of the personalities worshipped by choice poetry. Worship him with a faithful, unflinching mind, without duplicity and in a highly elevated manner. Thus worship the Lord, whose name is like the sun. For just as a slight appearance of the sun dissipates the darkness of night, so a slight appearance of the holy name of Krishna can drive away all the darkness of ignorance that arises in the heart due to greatly sinful activities performed in previous lives. So this is a very wonderful example Haridas Thakur is giving to illustrate this point, that in the morning time, before the sun has arisen above the horizon, already the light is spreading everywhere, right? The sky becomes illuminated even before the sun has. Actually, nowadays it's light at like 4 a.m. It's quite eerie, actually. Like 4 o'clock in the morning, it's already like light, So it's going to be like at least an hour or two more before the sun rises. But still, it's light out. So in the same way, even before the pure name has revealed itself, there will be some effects, there will be some potency there. So some purification will take place. So a very nice example. Nama bas hoite hoi samsare koi. Even a faint light. Is it like that in America? Does that ever happen?
Depends on if it's like daylight savings or not.
But I mean, it's sometimes in the year it does become early, light at that time. Huh? So I don't remember in India. But also in India we don't have these very late sunsets.
No, it gets dark at like 5 p.m.
Yeah, I don't remember any time. Here sometimes it can be 9, like 10 even, and it's still, but I don't remember it ever any time if you're in India. I guess it just depends where you are on the whatever you call it. The equator, yeah. Something like that. We're terrible. We need Balaram. He can give a whole 2-hour discourse. Yesterday he was trying to explain to me about how actually Sridhar Maharaj discusses this in Subjective Evolution, and I would love to understand it, but he was trying to explain to me how color is actually perceived in the brain.
Right.
But it's just I cannot comprehend, And it's all about the way light hits the molecules that affects the color that you perceive, and wish I could understand. Not in this lifetime. Even a faint light from the holy name of the Lord can eradicate all the reactions of sinful life. Mriyamano hader nama grinan pucho pachaditam ajamilo pyagadama kim uta shadaya grinam. While dying, Ajamil chanted the holy name of the Lord, Jai Mahaprabhu, intending to call his son Narayan. Nevertheless, he attained the spiritual world. What then to speak of those who chant the holy name with faith and reverence? Namabhasya mukti hoy sarashastra deki Shri Bhagavate tate ajamil shakshi. Because of even the faintest rays of the effulgence of the Lord's holy name, one can attain liberation. We can see this in all the revealed scriptures. The evidence appears in the story of Ajamil in Srimad Bhagavatam. Shuniya Prabhur Sukh Badaye Antade Punarapi Bhangi Kori Puchaye Tahade. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this from Haridas Thakur, the happiness within his heart increased, But as a matter of course, he still inquired further. So again, he's like posing here. And Mahaprabhu likes to do this, and he does this also with Ramananda Rai earlier in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He likes to put his devotees in a position of, superiority, and he's inquiring from them. And of course, he already knows the answer. Pritivitte bahu jiva stavar jangam iha sabar ki prapkade hoibe mochan. On this earth there are many living entities, the Lord said, some moving and some not moving. What will happen to the trees, plants, insects, and other living entities? How will they be delivered from material bondage? Haridas kohe Prabhu se kripa tomar. So, like they can't chant, so what about them? How will they be delivered? Haridas kohe Prabhu se kripa tomar stavar jangamage koreacho nishtar. Haridas Thakur replied, My dear Lord, the deliverance of all moving and non-moving living entities takes place only by your mercy. You have already granted this mercy and delivered them. Tumi je kodiyacho e ucha sankirtan stavar jangamer se hayata shravan. You have loudly chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, and everyone, moving or not moving, has benefited by hearing it. Shuniya jangamer hoy samsara koy tavare se shabda lage pratidwani hoy. My Lord, the moving entities who have heard your loud sankirtan have already been delivered from bondage to the material world. And after the non-moving living entities like trees hear it, there is an echo. Pratidwani nahi se kodoye kirtan tomar kripa he akatya katan. Actually, however, it is not an echo. It is the kirtan of the non-moving living entities. All this, although inconceivable, is possible by your mercy. So in their own way, they are also vibrating Krishna Nam. And of course, we hear when Mahaprabhu goes through the Jharikanda forest, then because of the potency of his chanting, he inspires all of the animals in chanting also. Sakal jagate hoy ucha sankirtan shuniya preme veshenache stavar jangam. When loud chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is performed all over the world by those who follow in your footsteps, all living entities, moving and non-moving, dance in ecstatic devotional love. Ch.Ch koila jari kande vrindavana jaite palabhaja bhattacharya kohiyache namate. My dear Lord, all the incidents that took place while you were going to Vrindavan through the forest, known as Jharikanda, have been related to me by your servant Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Vasudev jiva lagi koilo nivedane tobe angikar koila jiver mochan. When your devotee Vasudev Dutt submitted his plea at your lotus feet for the deliverance of all living entities, you accepted that request. Jaganishtadite tomar avatar bhaktaba vagetate koilangikar. My dear Lord, you have accepted the form of a devotee just to deliver all the fallen souls of this world. Ucha sankirtan tate kodila prachar stiracha jiver sab kandaila samsar. You have preached the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and in this way freed all moving and non-moving living entities from material bondage. Prabhu kohe sab jiva mukti jabe pabe eto brahmanda tobe jiva shunya hobe. Mahaprabhu replied, if all living entities are liberated, the entire universe will be devoid of living beings. So he's really like, poking here. Now, how is everybody? No, it's like he's being very. What's the word? Like interrogative. First, he's asking, how is everybody in the age of Kali? Because they're so fallen. How are they going to be delivered? Don't worry. Even if they only chant Namabas, they'll be delivered. Okay, but then what about the plants and the non-moving life forms? How are they going to be delivered? Don't worry, they will also vibrate the holy name. And then he's saying, but then if everybody's liberated, then the universe is going to be empty. Then what? But Haridas also has an answer. Haridas bole tomar javad marche stiti tavat stavar jang. And we understand this is for our benefit, for those who may have such inquiry. Haridas bole tomar javad marche stiti tavat stavar jangam sarva jiva jati sab mukta kori tumi vaikunte pataiba shukshma jive punna karme udbuddha koriba. Haridas said, my Lord, as long as you are situated within the material world, you will send to the spiritual sky all the developed moving and non-moving living entities in different species. Then again you will awaken the living entities who are not yet developed and engage them in activities. So this word developed, I'm not quite sure about that. But the idea is that there are innumerable living entities who are in a dormant state, so to speak, in the Brahma Jyoti. So there's so many jivas who are like waiting to enter this world. So even if you empty it out, there's so many others who will come to fill up the space again. Se jiva hobe ihao stavar jangam tahate bodhibe brahmanda jena purvasam. In this way, all moving and non-moving living entities will come into existence and the entire universe will be filled as it was previously. Purve jeno rangonat sabajo jaloya vaikuntake gelanya jive ayodhya bodhaya. Previously, when Lord Ramachandra left this world, he took with him all the living entities of Ayodhya. Then he filled Ayodhya again with other living entities. Avatari tumi aiche patiyachahat keho na bujite pade tomar gudanat. My dear Lord, you have set a plan in motion by descending to the material world, but no one can understand how you are acting. Purvejeno braje Krishna kori avatar saka brahmanda jiver kandaila samsar. Formerly, when Lord Krishna descended in Vrindavan, he freed all living entities in the universe from material existence in the same way. Now we have a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam. Na chaivam vishmaya karyo bhagavata bhagavatyaje yogeshwareshware krishne Yatai tat vimuchyate. Krishna, the unborn Supreme Personality of Godhead, Master of all masters of mystic power, delivers all living entities, moving and non-moving. Nothing is astonishing in the activities of the Lord. And now we have a quotation from Vishnu Purana. Ayam hi bhagavan jishta kirtita samshmitascha Dveshanu bandhanapya kila sura suradi durlabam balam prayachati kim uta samyag bhakti matam iti. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead may be seen, glorified, or remembered with an attitude of envy, he nevertheless awards the most confidential liberation, which is rarely achieved by the demigods and demons. What then can be said of those who are already fully engaged in devotional service of the Lord? So how merciful is the Lord that if anyone remembers him in any way, even if it's in a negative way, they'll be liberated. Okay, they're not going to have entrance into the positive Vaikuntha plane, but they'll be liberated from this material world. No, and we're told that, the demons who Krishna kills, they're also liberated. So then, what to speak of those who are actually engaged in devotion?
Ch.Ch tumi navadvipe kori avatar sakka brahmanda jiver korila nishtar.
By descending as an incarnation at Navadvip, you, just like Krishna, have already delivered all the living entities of the universe.
Jai kohe Chaitanya mahima mor gochar hoy, se januk mor punaeto nishchoy.
One may say that he understands the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He may know whatever he may know, but as far as I am concerned, this is my conclusion.
Tomar jai lila maha amritera sindhu mor mano gochar nahe tare kabindu.
My dear Lord, your pastimes are just like an ocean of nectar. It is not possible for me to conceive how great that ocean is, or even to understand a drop of it.
Heto shuni prabhur mane chamadkara koilo mor guda lila haridas kemane janilo.
Hearing all this, Mahaprabhu was astonished. These are actually my confidential pastimes, he thought. How could Haridas have understood them?
Maner santoshe tare koila lingan baje prakashite sab korila varjan.
Greatly satisfied by the statements of Haridas Thakur, Mahaprabhu embraced him. Outwardly, however, he avoided further discussion of these matters because, he's shy to hear his own glories,
Ishwar sabhava ishwarja chahe achadite Bhaktatai lukaite nare hoito vidite.
This is a characteristic of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although he wants to cover his opulence, he cannot do so before his devotees. This is well known everywhere. He cannot hide before the love of his devotees. And now we have quotation from the Stotra Ratna of Jamunacharya. Ulangita chiridasima samatishai sambhavanam tava pariradima swabhavam maya balena bhavatapi niguyamanam pashyanti kechid anisham tvadananya bhavaha. O my Lord, everything within material nature is limited by time, space, and thought. Your characteristics, however, being unequaled and unsurpassed, are always transcendental to such limitations. You sometimes cover such characteristics by your own energy, but nevertheless your unalloyed devotees are always able to see you under all circumstances. It's very, it's a very important point. It is only through faith, only through love, that we can perceive that higher reality. That is the starting point, to simply have some faith. Then the Lord will reveal himself. He cannot be, because he does not need to, he is not bound by any law or any obligation or any personal need of his own. He doesn't need to show himself, doesn't need to prove himself. So anyone who's trying to approach through some empirical method to, prove that, they will fail, because he has, what need does he have to prove himself to them? He has no need at all. So he will only reveal himself if there's some like friendly approach, and that means faith, that I believe, I believe you are there, and I want a relationship with you. And the more one's faith develops, then the more one will be able to perceive and experience the Lord. And so in Brahma Samhita, Pramanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achincha Guna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajani. That the devotees, their eyes are covered in the salve of prema. They're seeing things through prema, through their love for the Lord. And with that vision, they're always seeing that beautiful Shama Sundar. So, I was hearing, I think it was yesterday, there was one occasion when there was some debate that was going on between two great Indian philosophical types. One was Dr. Radha Krishnan, who I think he later became the president of India, or prime minister. I think they have prime ministers, right? I think it's prime minister. And another one was Nagaraj Sharma, who was like a big scholar, philosopher. And they had some debate that was going on for a very long time, and it was going on through some different newspaper articles. They were going back and forth. And then finally it was agreed they would have a meeting in person to finalize this philosophical debate. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj was requested to be the mediator, and which shows you how highly respected Srila Sridhar Maharaj was in society, in educated society. I think it was in Madras, but I'm not sure. And so they were having some debate, but one point, I think this Radha Krishnan, he had studied overseas. He had studied in England, maybe Cambridge, and he'd written many books on philosophy. He'd written books on the Vedic culture, Vedic teachings, but he'd also been educated in the West. So he was so one interesting point Nagaraj Sharma made was that you're not actually like an Indian, you're more Western minded. And you're presenting the Vedic knowledge, but with the angle of a Westerner, which is completely different. And so he said, in the Vedic culture, there's never just been armchair philosophy. It's always been about, you cannot, the whole style of it has been that you cannot really understand it. The premise of it has been that you cannot really understand it until you engage in the practice. It's not that, the word for philosophy is darshan. There isn't a word like we have in English for philosophy, just dry philosophy. But the word that in Sanskrit is darshan, which means to see. So which indicates an understanding which will inform how you see the world. Not just something dry that is in your brain, but it's actually informing how you are practically viewing and interacting with your environment. And so principal understanding is you cannot really know that conclusively until you have actually engaged in it. You've done the practice. So in the Vedic culture, the style was always, you surrender to Guru, you learn from Guru. The young boys, they would be sent to Gurukul, and they would study, they would serve their Guru It was there was that central theme of service, of seva. They would it was like something more organic, not like you're going to school and you come home, but it was like this deep relationship where you're serving the guru, the teacher, and as an expression of appreciation, the guru is sharing something with you, is teaching something to you. His spiritual knowledge, which has enlightened his view of the world. So Krishna, he shows that example when he goes to Gurukul, right? And he's and his teacher is Sandipani Muni, and he's engaging in all kinds of menial services, like going out to the forest, collecting firewood. So it's like a very holistic thing. So it's quite interesting. And I was saying that because the debate. So this point that just this empiric approach, it's not the to have some relationship with the Lord, with Krishna, just the empiric approach, it will always be a failure. But there must be some relationship there. Then the Lord will be pleased to reveal himself. We are approaching him in that mood, not like we want something to put under our belt or in our pocket or in our brain, but we want some relationship. Then he may be pleased to give something to us in terms of spiritual knowledge and experience of himself, etc. Okay, well, I haven't articulated that super well, but would anyone like to sing? Who would you like to sing?
Ladies first.
Okay. Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Hari Gopinata Madana Mohana Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Dansa Bada Pada Denu Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajaka Charya Varya Ashtakai Shri Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmala Charja Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai all the assembled devotees Ki Jai all the world devotees Ki Jai Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande.